Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We provide fan-oriented and analytic discussions on a variety of animated shows, movies, and anime, including Steven Universe, Gravity Falls, Star Wars Rebels, Moonbeam City, and RWBY. I'm Dylan Hysen, and today I'm joined by Delaney Stovall.
Hello.
And Brit Falcon.
Hello, dearies. How are y'all?
Dearies, that's an interesting attitude for the apocalypse, which is what we'll be discussing today. Weirdmageddon Part 1.
Everyone needs a hug after the
of the latest episode of Gravity Falls and the first part of part series Weirdmageddon. Who knows? We have no idea when the next episode is. But we'll be discussing part 1 today, and what an episode it was. You can find out everything about this podcast at overlyanimated.com. We cover Gravity Falls every week that it is on, which is a non-consistent schedule consisting of probably 3 more episodes in the entire show. So that's not many more, but that's what we'll be doing.
Who knows?
Probably it's either 3 or 4 left, and I'm thinking 3, and I'm thinking that we will not be getting a 3rd season. That's my latest read on the situation, but of course we don't know anything.
What if they get zapped into another dimension? There's a whole 3rd season about that.
Or everyone dies.
Well, I've heard that. Okay, we'll talk about this later. Anyway, let's talk about the episode. I've heard hearsay based on what Alex Hirsch said. I think Disney has a gag order on everyone, so no one can talk about how many episodes are left, which makes no sense to me. If this is part 1 of the series finale, I would like it to be hyped. That would be a good idea, but it is not being done so by Disney, so whatever.
They like to make us suffer.
I don't know why they did that. Okay, let's get right into it. Weirdmageddon Part 1. Delaney, what was your reaction, and what did you think of the episode?
So, while I was watching the episode, I was just kind of like, what the heck is happening? And I really enjoyed it. Wendy is just amazing. I was just freaking out. And I was watching with my roommate, so we were just kind of, squawking at each other. And...
Squawking?
Yes.
Are you Dipper and Wendy when they go into the bird bubble?
Yes, that is exactly what it was.
Yeah.
They were Robins. It was adorable.
Aww. And it was a lot darker than I expected it to be. There were things that happened that actually shocked me. After finishing the episode, I'm not 100% on how I feel about it. It was fun to watch, but I feel like I need to watch it again. And my roommate summed this up, was that, and we've talked about this so many times, is that when we have episodes like this, things go so fast. This episode was insane, and of course, it's Weirdmageddon. It's supposed to be weird and crazy, but it was just nuts, and I've just the whole time it's not disjointed. It's just weird.
There's
that's the point.
Yeah. There's a lot going on.
Amazing.
Was this only a 30-minute episode?
This was
Yes.
22 minutes. Yeah.
Holy crap.
The intro makes it though. The intro incredible.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Oh, we will be talking
Bill being
about the
all
intro.
family members.
Yes.
He is every character now.
Britt, what was your reaction to Weirdmageddon, and what do you think of it as an episode?
It was like a roller coaster.
Yes.
That sounds like the most fun apocalypse ever. I want to ride on a giant goat. At the same time, there's no more nachos. So that kind of sucks. But I don't know. It was really exciting. A lot happened, and it was basically just Wendy hardcore all the time, which was really awesome. There was no Mabel, so it was kind of sad.
Yeah.
But Gideon actually didn't annoy the piss out of me for once. Dipper was awesome. Zeus wasn't evil. We didn't get Stan, but we got Ford.
Well,
Sacrifice. Is he gonna come back, or is he permanently King Midas over here?
I don't know.
Who knows?
Because there were so many questions. The entire time I was just what? Oh, that looks pretty.
Then there's a lot of bad things happen to a bunch of people.
No, thank you.
Yeah, was he gold? I don't know. He was a back scratcher. It looked like he was gold. Bronze.
Why is he a back scratcher? Phil, you don't even have skin cells. You have nothing to scratch.
No, he has a physical form now. We don't know what he...
But he doesn't get itchy.
Britt, we'll be discussing the biology of Bill's physical form, because he regenerated in his hat. And that was pretty distinctive.
There were
there were muscle fibers. It was what?
Yeah, okay. But I really loved Weirdmageddon Part 1. I think this is going to go down as a classic. I mean, we'll see, how much the episodes connect, and, I don't know. It's weird that Part 1 of a thing is usually thought of as, the classic, but I'm just really proud of the show, because I really do think this is, an all-time cartoon classic.
It was so good. It was so good.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of my favorites in a while, but also it's just so distinctive, and it applies so many kind of these obscure cartoon tropes that it does really well. Like a lot of what this does that's interesting, like replacing the title theme, this going through the bubble gag, like these are things that other shows have done before, but like it just does it really well. So it's
And it
love
works.
the
Like, it
bubbles.
makes sense.
yeah, it works. It's great for this
Wendy,
episode.
do you have your driver's license? Like, them not having a driver's license, I'm pretty sure is a giant trope.
Yeah,
Right,
there you go
right?
too. It's just
Oh, we got everything we wanted, Dylan. Like, we got to see Pacifica. We got to see
we got to.
Wendy.
I would have wanted more. Let's have Pacifica instead of
but
Wendy.
the fact that she was there, but the fact that she was there.
No.
No, I'm fine with Wendy. Yeah, I like the increased role for Wendy here. No Mabel, but I assume we'll see Mabel next episode.
Better.
The first 10
What she's doing hanging out in the bubble.
well, we'll see what the bubble is like. The first 10 minutes, I think, of this episode were like incredible. It was just incredibly fast paced, incredibly interesting. Just a lot of crazy stuff going on. And then I think the second 10 minutes weren't as good. The stuff with Gideon, with when it became Mad Max, it was still good, but I just think it was like a slight
loved it
step down.
being Mad
You know.
Max.
I mean, I think this episode was written before Mad Max came out, so I assume this was not based on. I mean, it's also like Zombieland and like everything.
Yeah,
you know?
it's pretty
Literally every
generic.
trope. Like, yeah.
So
Same with like every trope for like the apocalypse was used. So
yeah, so they went all out here, and Alex Hirsch completely nailed it, and I think this is an all-time classic. We'll talk about the theme. I don't know, notable things to me. We don't have to go. There's too much to go through thing by thing. We can point out the most notable things. Yeah, the theme song. Okay, so here's backstory on this. When I was 10, my favorite thing in the world was when the Fairly Odd Parents movie replaced the theme song with like the monkey versions of themselves. And
Yes.
that was like actually my favorite thing ever. And this is doing that again. It's so great. I don't know if I've reacted to this show as much as I have when they had the Bill Cipher theme. It was so great. The show already has one of the best theme songs on TV, and just the attention to detail. If you go through this, it's so incredible. It's just like, I mean, obviously it's just doing the normal theme, but with Bill Cipher elements. The cast is pretty great. Let's go through the cast. We have 8-Ball replacing Dipper in the intro, and then he notices the Dipper skeleton, which is great. And then we have Teeth. Classic. We have Keyhole, who I don't know if he was actually in the episode or if he was just in this intro part.
No, he was in the episode.
Keyhole, and he's carrying a box of keys. And okay, and then we have Hectogron, which is just a hexagon with like a top hat and a mustache. That's good. So there you go. It's wonderful. Like from everything from the replacing the people in the family, which I'm going to make the header photo for this podcast, to just replacing Gravity Falls with the ciphered version of Gravity Falls on the water tower, and it's flashing to it again on the title screen created by Bill Cipher. Yeah, this is like my favorite thing the show has ever done, and I'm in love with it.
It's like when it happened, like because I right before it started, like they just like the music started. I turned to my roommate and was like, if they don't do the full intro, I'm gonna be mad. And then like it starts, and I'm like I can hear Dylan. Like I know Dylan's freaking out. Like I can feel it. Because like it was awesome.
We already talk about the normal intro every episode to see if they play the full
and
one.
I was like,
yeah.
oh god. I was like, Dylan's gonna have a stroke out of excitement.
It was great. Yeah,
No, it was amazing, and
Yeah.
like then, and they even like the music was like messed up and it was so great. Like
everything about it, just incredible quality.
perfect. Flawless.
Okay, what Delaney? Other than the intro, pick an element of apocalypse theme in the show that stands out.
So specifically to the apocalypse theme, not necessarily like an event that happened in the episode, but like
You can put any event, anything. I mean, we'll talk. Regardless, we'll talk about Wendy's increased role and stuff like that. But yeah,
it's probably between like the fact that like we actually had like the time cops show up.
Oh yeah,
And also like it's very like Bill Cipher has created Pandemonium. Like he has I mean that as in like the city of Pandemonium. Like he has created Pandemonium, and it's really interesting because like they're just having like a party. Like I don't know, I really liked that. It's very of course I was watching Halloween Town right before this, and like Halloween Town 2, like this is literally the plot of Halloween Town 2. And I don't know, like I just really liked that, we have like this party going on, and then also and the party was like super weird, and then the apocalypse, because I'm really not a big fan of apocalypse plots, but like I liked that element in the apocalypse plot.
Cool. Britt, one thing that stood out to you from here.
There's so many things. I love apocalypse plots. So anytime you can put the apocalypse in anything, I'm usually on board. Just FYI. I think I've mentioned that before. I think my favorite was probably Wendy's, like, just her family and just, like, her little bunker and, like, just showing up and having a bow and arrow. Like, I am Katniss Everdeen. I'm going to take over now.
Yes.
Wendy doing...
He trained for the Armageddon instead of Christmas every year.
Yeah. Armageddon drills
I
instead
just
of
like the way
Christmas
the
every
sky
year.
is, like, colored, and there's just, like, you get these, like, big, like, landscape shots of just creatures, like, running around, and, like, there's a giant goat and stuff breathing fire, and the lady on the television expecting a rain of blood, and bats with one eye making people into stone. Just everything. I don't think there was one thing that stood out to me. It was all good.
Good. Yeah, I agree. Let me propose bodacious tea.
Oh yes.
Toby determined.
Were they hiding in a Hot Topic? Is that what it was?
I think that was
Yes,
I think it was based on Hot Topic.
definitely a Hot Topic.
And then
Like it didn't hit me until afterwards, and I'm like, oh, they're still in the mall. Like this was a store, like because everything was just going so fast. And I was like, are they in Hot Topic?
yeah, and
I would hide in Hot Topic.
nobody's gonna call you that, Toby. But Toby determined is the greatest, and I'm glad he just gets a prominent role in this.
I thought he was a monster.
Let's talk about Blendin and the Time Cops and the Time Baby. First, Blendin here again, which is incredible. I like that Blendin survives. We'll see more Blendin now. What an incredible choice to bring in the Time Baby and then just have the Time Baby instantly destroyed.
I know.
I was really mad about that. That was the one thing I think I didn't like was the Time Baby and like all the Time
I
Cops.
wasn't mad. I was shocked.
Like, I was expecting them to like immediately like reform, being like, "Ha, we're not that easy to get rid of."
Well, it's possible that he'll come back because he's an omnipotent baby. But let me argue why this was such a great storytelling decision. The Time Baby's kind of been this has never been used for a plot device in the actual show, and it's kind of just this all powerful butt pull in terms of we can just change all of he's like just this time god, and having him subvert Bill, who we know who's being presented as the ultimate threat here, would be not good. So like he needs to instantly establish Bill as greater than any of the bigger forces that we've seen before, especially one as purposefully silly as the Time Baby.
Like, this is the payoff to our terror. Like, this is the payoff to, why are we so scared of Bill? Like, yeah, Bill does weird stuff, but he hasn't really, like, he's done stuff that's weird and scary, but like, he hasn't, like, this is it. Like, that's what, I agree, like, this is why it's perfect, is because this is the payoff. Like, we really need to be worried about the finale. Maybe, like, people are, like, we don't have any proof that people have actually died yet, like, characters, but, like, we saw, like, immediately, like the cop got carried off, and like people were getting hurt, and like Pacifica's dad, like weird stuff happened off of that, but then when we kill Time Baby, like this is messed up. This is like Bill is like how are we gonna defeat
just
him?
Vaporize him, like he just like snapped his fingers.
So
I'm actually scared. Like, I'm used to watching a show and being like, okay, who cares? Like, everyone's going to live at the end. That's how the shows work. This show, I don't know. Like, this show did dark stuff in this episode that I was not expecting. And I actually don't know what's going to happen. Like, I could see, like, I hope they don't kill off Mabel or Dipper, but, like, they could who knows who they're going to kill.
I don't think they're going to kill off Mabel or Dipper or Wendy.
But I could see something bad happening.
I could see something bad
happening. I could see them killing off Wendy, actually.
Let's talk about this in a second.
We'll come back to it.
Yeah, I'll. So Delaney, I think killing off the Time Baby to me is like one of 3 moments where they establish Bill as like completely legitimate, like the end all be all. Like to me, there's the emotional connection to the show when he turns Ford into the back scratcher, and that's like he's that's also kind of a he's able to instantly deal with the biggest, force we have in the main cast. There's kind of just the horror aspect of him shuffling. Let me shuffle the functions of every hole in your face. He says to Pacifica's dad, which is great, and that was like the biggest horror moment I think from the episode.
That was like crazy. Oh my god!
Yeah. And it was like in the first like 5 minutes.
Yeah, and then the last one is like establishing his power, which is killing off the Time Baby, and I think they do a great job in just convincing us that Bill really is going to be a huge threat here, and not just a huge threat. Like it seems impossible for them to deal with it.
How do you think we're going to get rid of Bill? Do you know?
So the main plot of this episode is, right, it's like Dipper teams up with Wendy to get free Mabel because apparently Dipper with Mabel can do anything. So what do you think of this kind of concept?
Like, I like the concept, but the thing for me was that, like, we've talked about this before, that, like, they have, like, this undercurrent in the show, but, like, for me, like, there was no emotional payoff for me for that line, because that's not what the show's about. Like, that's not, like, we actually at many times, like, it's like, it's been one or the other, and yeah, they work together, but, like, it's Dipper's day to shine, or Mabel's day to shine. Yeah, at the end of the day, they're always together, but for me, the more important part about this was Dipper's first concern was not saving the world. It was to save Mabel, to find her. And I think we kind of lose that a little bit with this line. It just seemed kind of a little cheap to be like, oh, this is just how we're going to move it along. Like, I didn't really like it that much. Like, it's a nice concept, but I didn't like the delivery in, like, as the season. Like, as usual, things like this get a little cheap. They get a little quick.
Well, I think that it doesn't make a lot of sense, like, logic-wise. Like, what's Mabel going to do? You know, that Dipper can't.
It's a nice thought, but it doesn't, like, it just seems like it's a little weird. Like, it's awkward to say.
Yeah, like, it's not something people, like, actually say. I mean, I can see them going after to save Mabel, because she's Mabel, and we love Mabel, you know? Like, if my sister was stuck, either of them, or both of them, in a bubble, I would be like, screw you, Bill, I'm gonna deal with you tomorrow. I'm gonna get them out of the bubble.
Yeah.
How am I gonna get up there, kind of a deal.
That
would have just made sense.
Yeah, I'm going to argue in favor of this. I think this works thematically because Dipper and Mabel's sibling relationship has always kind of been at the heart of the show. And I agree the show has kind of strayed the path in terms of separating them too often, and we kind of complained about their different functions even last episode. But I think this works, even if it doesn't make a lot of sense in terms of why is freeing Mabel going to do anything? But I think it works in terms of the show thematically reuniting the two of them.
Thematically, yes, but, like, the thing is, it doesn't come off well enough for me.
I think this episode's all about themes, though, so I feel like it especially works great here. Like, logic is set to the side here in this episode.
I'm not as high on this episode as you two are, so that's part of it, too.
Well, sure. I mean, I don't know, like, once we get into the going to save Mabel part, I think that's the weaker part of the episode. However, I'm not opposed to this as kind of the framing device for the plot.
I'm fine with it from, like, a feeling standpoint, because I'm like, yes, Mabel and Dipper feels, but, like, it just, the delivery of the line, and, like, I mean, in context of, like, the episode before this, it's great, but it's a little weird. It just, and it feels very much like, okay, Wendy saying this, like, you know, it's very, I'm trying to think of, like, a parallel. It's like, you know, it's on the nose, and, like, just, and you have another
in the
character
sinuses
saying that,
almost.
Yeah, Wendy saying it was a little weird. It's interesting. I can buy Wendy saying it, honestly. I think like, we've kind of set that up.
If Seuss had said it, like, obviously Seuss wasn't there, but if Seuss had said it, I think I would have less of an issue with it.
Seuss is super corny, so you would say that, yeah. But exactly. Wendy saying it is a little interesting. But I think it's all the more powerful because of that. I guess that's the intention. Regardless of this as framing this, what do we think of setting Mabel aside for the entire episode?
I mean, I don't like it because Mabel's my baby, but, like, it's good. Like, it works well.
It works, like, in a plot sense.
Yeah, we need the like, I don't think we can evaluate it until the next episode. Like,
it's part one of a multi-part. Yeah. Episode,
so it's like in the whole episode, she's just not in, like, the first half. If the second half is on her a lot, then it'll be fine.
Yeah. This also allows
Wendy was there being about, so it wasn't, like, devoid of female characters.
Exactly. The last element of this is that it allows Wendy to step into the forefront. What do we think of Wendy's increased role in this episode?
Awesome,
fantastic.
And, like, we finally have, like, this, but we've had this build up, not like, it wasn't a very obvious build up, but it's always been there, like, the corduroys, like, they're just weird, and, like, they just, like, and they're really hardcore, and, like, yeah, we get that from Wendy, but not in, like, this sense, really, and it's awesome, like, that we have this, you know, and like, even it's not really a throwaway line, but, like, you know, talking about, oh, instead of Christmas, we did this, and it's great, like, it's awesome, and it works so well, and it doesn't seem forced or rushed or anything, like, it just fits.
It's like, of course they did.
Yeah, duh.
No deal.
Oh.
This I think this episode is the payoff to Wendy in the entire series. I feel like this is definitely. Like finally Wendy's 100%. Climax within the show. Like in every aspect, we get Wendy being her most awesome here, which is why I think she's going to die.
No.
Which
If
is
she dies, I will throw hate.
I don't think
Or
she's
something
gonna.
else.
I don't think she's gonna be super relevant after this episode. She's had throughout the show. She's been awesome. She's been like this high figure for Dipper, and then we get the payoff to the interminable season 1 plot of Dipper crushing on Wendy the entire time, with like him saying to Gideon, "You can't force someone to love you. They have to be
People to
worthy
love
of
you."
your loving." So I think that just all of this pays off Wendy's character in an incredible way, and I think she was great here. And I also think this was probably Linda Cardellini's best performance as Wendy in the series. And we also get to see her and Jason Ritter, so that's cool. What do we... Okay, last plotty thing. What do you think of Gideon here?
He finally had like a humanistic moment.
So
I
there's
was-
multiple... Okay, 2 elements to Gideon. One is his role
It
in the
wasn't
plot.
it wasn't like he's a great person now, but it was an improvement.
Do you buy Gideon's heel turn at the end?
He seemed really nervous in that off-screen shot where the rest of the characters couldn't see him and he was
Yeah.
looking at the picture. So I'm gonna say that I buy it, but I don't.
Also, I definitely buy it. I just didn't
But
like
just-
how it happened.
I don't.
Why
I don't
didn't you like how it
necessarily
happened?
Like how it happened. It makes me feel uneasy. How's that? I buy it and I'm like, okay.
I was like, I completely buy it. I just didn't like it at all how because it was so awkward. Like it just, I really didn't like the dialogue in that part. It was just like I was saying with like the Wendy line. Like I didn't, and like yeah, what Dipper was saying, like it was payoff for Wendy's character, but Dipper wasn't trying to force Wendy to love him. He just had a giant crush on her. Like it wasn't like. I don't know. It was really weird, and I didn't like it. Like I didn't like how it happened.
Well, that's what Gideon was doing with Mabel, obviously.
No, he was,
Yeah.
but like Dipper saying it, like I don't know. It just seemed very okay. We have to hurry up and convince the bad guy to help us, and like I didn't like it. Like it didn't feel very. I didn't like it.
I loved Dipper and Wendy's side of that, as I said before. Regardless of whether that line specifically speaks to their situation, just Dipper, getting over her and learning about how things work from that. I think including Gideon here is kind of risky because he wasn't a presence this season. He was for like 2 episodes or something, right? He was a season 1 character. He's, in my opinion, not the strongest element of the show, even in season 1. And here, his role in the plot was not incredible like this. But regardless of that, I also think his heel turn at the end was also a little rushed. And I think this does an interesting job of resolving his character from a while ago, but it's also from a while ago. And like time-wise, it's also like 2 years. So in terms of when we saw episodes, so it's a little hard to be super hyped about Gideon's role in this episode when it's been so long, I think.
And it's still about like, oh, I'm gonna do this, and maybe will like me. Like it's still about.
I mean,
that.
it's not trying to convince you Gideon's a good person, but it's just resolving
I know.
this general arc.
I know. I just don't like it. Like I don't like these kinds of arcs, so I will not like it. Like it's just how.
If this is the last of Gideon in the show, that's fine. Then we can move on. But we'll see about that.
I think if anyone's going to like, kick the bucket, so to speak, I think it's gonna be him.
Well,
I think it's gonna be him.
Well, we still don't know, like, well, see, I buy the turn because, like, I mean, I actually kind of hope it wasn't legitimate because that would actually, for me, make the scene better, but,
We'll see.
okay.
Okay.
The thing is, they didn't establish, like, he was, earlier in the episode, he was like, yeah, Bill came through, and we still hadn't figured out, like, the deal they made, so, like, we still haven't gotten that yet.
Yeah.
And I think it was more than just busting him out of prison, like, there's something else going on.
Gideon was like, Bill came through. My current thought on this is that this is them trying to resolve that without it making sense. Like, I think this is it. What are we really going to see?
it's not,
Like, we don't understand how Gideon factored into Bill's resurrection. Like, it doesn't seem like relevant. But the episode referenced it without actually explaining it story-wise. I don't think that was supposed to have been. Bill was supposed to have been like conjured that fast relative to that episode, which I'll talk about a little later. But I don't expect that to be resolved. But this was their way of addressing it without having to actually make sense of it, which was impossible because Bill came like 3 episodes after that. Okay, lastly, the cipher at the end of the episode is apparently I cannot confirm this personally. I did not decode it personally. But game is over, and I won. Now it's time to start the fun. I always love corrupting lives. Now let's see which Pines survives. Okay,
Mabel's being possessed.
so we're talking about who's gonna die. So according to Cypher,
Sounds
one
like
of the
Harry Potter numbers.
one of the four
Yep.
Pines dies. Okay, so who you got? Which of the four Pines is dying?
I mean, it's probably
Stan or Ford.
it's probably Stan.
So Ford, I feel like it can't be Ford because he's already basically dead.
And then also, like,
That would be cheap.
if Ford died, I honestly, like, I mean, I'd be like, oh no.
The emotional
Ford
payoff's
died.
not there. I completely
Like,
agree.
there's no emotional pay. Like, I honestly didn't, like, I was shocked when he got turned into whatever, simply because that happened, but I didn't, like, care.
I wasn't
mean,
even
cared.
shocked.
Yeah.
I wasn't. I was expecting him to get, like, vaporized, like, when he just became stone. I was like, he'll probably get turned back into, like, a normal person in, like, the end of this when everything goes back to normal when they win, so.
I think he'll go back to normal later. If a Pine's dying is supposed to be a huge emotional factor, Ford hasn't been on the show long enough for that to be a thing. It's hard to imagine them killing off one of the twins, so it's odds-on favorite is Stan for sure.
Yeah.
We haven't seen him all episode either.
He interacted with the big goat and then he went away, right? There you go.
I imagine it'll be something
that was him
very
with the big
heroic
goat?
and, like, sacrificial.
Yeah, that was him with the big goat. Nothing happened to him after that, right? It's just
he was just running away. He was just
Yeah.
like, please don't eat me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, no.
So I feel like if this prophecy comes true, it will be Stan kind of redeeming himself for all of his, which he kind of already has done, but whatever, for once and for all, redeeming himself for his role in bringing back Bill, and then him, although Ford is, and Alex in an interview today, Alex Hirsch said it was really Ford who's at fault for bringing back Bill, but Stan, portaled and everything in mid-season, so him kind of redeeming and dying, and that would be a huge emotional punch. Stan dying. Okay, let's quickly run through here and talk about gags we may have missed from outlining the episode. So, because there's a lot of, it's also just genuinely one of the funniest episodes I think of the show too, among the crazy apocalypse happening. We have a lot of monologuing by Bill in the beginning, and all of it's kind of meaningless. But that's okay. He was apparently trapped for a trillion years.
He wasn't very interesting.
In his own decaying dimension. Bill's friends are coming. 8-Ball, Kryptos, a being whose name must never be said. Oh heck, it's Xanthar. That was the best. I think. Oh heck, it's Xanthar. Yeah. Why doesn't Xanthar get a thing in the opening credits? He got screwed.
Well, it's because his name can't be spoken, so maybe they just can't spell.
But he spoke his
name.
name. So, and then there's a bunch of other ones.
But I don't know.
We have cute biker mayor and we had and we talked about Pacifica's dad as a rich capitalist. I welcome your tyrannical rule.
That was great.
What a political statement by Gravity Falls.
So
lovely.
Okay, we need more Pacifica. We need the payoff with Dipper. That's gonna happen, right?
Pacifica better be canon or
Dipsifica. Dipsifica. There's many names for it. Yeah. Padipica, etc., etc.
I expect some canon.
There's like 5 names for it. Anyway, yeah, it's at least we saw her here.
She hasn't died recently, so there's that.
I assume we're going to Bill's castle, which he sets up here.
Why does he have a whatever?
Which is like his pyramid.
It's a pyramid.
Yeah.
Shocker.
Yeah, we have the bubbles of madness throughout the episode. We had Seuss talking to armchair abuelita. Time for a nap, and then she reclines. And Ford looking at the bell.
No, go ahead, have fun. I'll be here. I'll be fine. She takes a nap.
Yeah.
I'm glad we got to see abuelita one more time.
That's what I'm gonna do.
What else we got? The journals are gone. Did we react to this?
I wasn't
Why didn't
like
you make a copy?
I wasn't surprised. I'm actually kind of glad they're gone.
Delaney, you know what I compare this to? This is like the Avatar's past lives getting destroyed. The journals getting burned.
No, see, that's the thing though. I was upset by that. I wasn't upset by this. I've been expecting this to happen like the entire time.
No, the journals are gone. This is like the entire show, and they're just gone except for one page, which ominously floats off in the distance. Yeah, which we'll get back to later.
I don't know. Like,
Wouldn't it a foreign thing to make them out of fireproof material or like wet-proof
Yeah, you
material?
would think so.
Or put them on the...
Put them on the internet? Yeah, okay.
I liked Super's reliance on them, which
Did-
is why, like, I'm glad they're gone.
Did Bill shut down the internet when he brought upon Weirdmageddon?
Probably.
That's the big question.
No one
here.
was tweeting, so I'm assuming yes.
How do you know
I mean,
no one was
Robbie
tweeting?
tried to take a selfie, but
Yeah, Robbie tried to take a selfie. That was great. Yeah, he almost got away.
I would be Robbie. It'd be me.
I'm Chandra Jimenez, and I ate a rat for dinner. I'm glad we got Chandra Jimenez another time.
He can't take a selfie while running. Seriously?
He
can't
tried.
take a selfie while
What's-
running?
well,
revoked.
he didn't take us. He stopped to take a selfie, and that's how he got caught.
That's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah, but-
That's why he got caught. If he had been
He has to
running
be
and
able to
taking
take a
a
selfie
selfie at the
while.
same time,
Yeah.
he would have been fine.
We didn't talk about Louis C.K. as this arm on head monster guy who just needs someone to go into his mouth.
So
Loved that so much.
Yeah,
and I
that's
couldn't
really
figure
good.
out who his voice was till like the end scene, and I was like,
Yeah, it's Louis C.K. It also looks like Louis C.K. for his head. Yeah. Anyone want to get in my mouth? The big hungry monster here. Not one person has gotten in my mouth, and he needs to call his mother in the stinger. That was great. So in the EW interview from today, Alex Hirsch said Louis C.K. was his second biggest dream get as voice actor, but there is one bigger one coming. So
Oh, no.
I don't know who that is. I think the only one I can think of that makes sense is Jon Stewart. But we'll see. That's
just Jon Stewart voice.
no, he hasn't. No, he has not voiced anyone so far. That's what I'm saying.
Who
And
does he voice like in cartoons?
I don't know if he's done. I can't think of a voice role he's done other than that. Anyway,
Okay, never mind. Sorry.
what else we got here? We talked about Bodacious D, which was great.
I think what I like about this episode is that it's so Rick and Morty, it hurts.
Why was this episode so Rick and Morty?
Just the monsters and just, it was very Rick
I mean,
and
we
Morty.
have Justin Roiland in the episode, but
I know,
other than
it's
that,
so great.
Yeah,
Just, it's very, the apocalypse, this is like a Rick and Morty apocalypse. Which we've already
It
had.
kind of
and they're
reminded
very
me a lot
similar.
of Futurama.
Yes, I see that.
what do you think of Ghost? Oh wait, Ghost Eyes says something really funny. He says, why are you keeping your girlfriend in the prison bubble? Have we, the prisoners, become the warden? quit the philosophy. Sorry, it was my major, says Ghost Eyes. Yeah,
it's
it was pretty great.
Honestly, the prisoners are my favorite.
Yeah.
They're great.
Have we, the prisoners, become the wardens? That's good. Dipper and Wendy going through the multiple bubbles. We have the anime bubble, which is good, which is Speed Racer. And if you look at the details of that screenshot, there's Speed Racer people in the background and stuff, and it's cool.
Awesome.
We have the live action bubble, in which we actually see Ritter and Linda Cordellini here, and it's great. And I can't believe that they did a shot just for that one thing, for that entire thing.
It's amazing.
It's perfect.
And what other bubbles are there? There's an old timey bubble. There's a bunch of them too.
The old timey bubbles quality.
That's the biggest Homestar Runner thing, and of course one of the creators of Homestar Runner is on the writing crew, so that made sense. And
The birds.
the birds, yeah,
Birds.
the birds one was pretty good too. What do we think of Seuss as the outlaw at the end? Who's
Love
just
it.
there, I guess.
I think there's
Fantastic.
some folk songs written about me.
Yeah, it
It's
was
so
good.
good.
And yeah, I think we hit it all. There's probably
They
some
all
stuff here.
walked into the bubble together.
Okay, so what are our
They held
hanging?
hands, and there were some feels.
What are our hanging plot threads heading into part 2? We have Blendin to come back. We have the page of the journal survived. Obviously, we're heading into the bubble to try to save Mabel. Ford's still
That
a
was an
thing.
ominous looking bubble, you guys. It was.
I can't tell if we're just
and
gonna
scary.
start next episode and come out of the bubble and Mabel's there, or if that's a whole thing. I'm not sure.
I feel like this is kind of going to be maybe a mixture of the Teen Titans episode where they have to go into Raven's mind, or they're gonna have to there's gonna be I really hope that's what it is, because I think that's I'm pretty sure Mabel has been possessed, or she's lost, and I mean differently. I think it's a whole new world in the bubble.
We're totally going into Mabel's mind now that you say that. Yeah, that
that's
seems
what's
like that's
happening.
gonna
It has
happen,
her star
which is
on
gonna be
it.
wonderful, by the way. Going into
please.
Mabel's
Well, that episode of Teen Titans is one of my favorite episodes of anything ever, and if that's what they do, I will die.
This is not going to be the whole episode, though. We don't have enough time for the
No.
bubble to be the whole
No,
episode, but
only
maybe
part of
5
the
minutes.
episode.
Yeah.
But still. it'll still be good.
Yeah, so there's that. Stan is run off. Time Baby's dead, and
The rest of the citizens of Gravity Falls, like, we have to wrap up, like, because I'm assuming not everyone died. Like, we have to, like, see what they're doing and, like, how they're going to be saved, I think.
we're
Or how they
getting.
save themselves.
Uh,
What if
Gideon is going off to
everybody's
fight Bill and his eight
And of
ball
course,
and
Bill has to
henchman.
figure out what's going on and, like, come after them.
Yeah, okay, so that's all there. By the way, just random thought. We're totally getting Pacifica at the end as like a
Yes.
a core epilogue
She's
type
gonna be
ending
like,
with Dipper.
she's gonna be like, I think she's gonna get like super hardcore, not quite as hardcore.
I
as
don't
Wendy,
know. I
but,
don't know
like,
if she's gonna be involved in the plot.
I
hope so. I hope so, but I'm skeptical.
great.
But
What if
anyway,
she finds the missing page, you guys?
yeah.
Yeah.
She needs to find the missing page. That's true. My thought
So
was,
where is Waddles?
where's Waddles too? That's another one.
Like, where Waddles is? He needs.
So if Dipper is with Pacific at the end, which one of Mabel's many love interests is going to come back for like the epilogue?
Oh,
That's my
you're
question.
right. It's gonna,
That's my
like,
big question.
All of them.
What if it's just all of them? Yeah,
Mermondo.
yeah. That's the biggest one I think of is Mondo. Yeah. So I don't know. That's
I
that.
always
Think
forget
about this
about
one. What's going to happen here?
Mermondo, the gnomes. Where's the dude that was a vampire?
Yeah.
Where are Grinda and
Grenda was in the the fake opening credits, camping with a lot of other people who
Okay.
are left out of the episode. Basically,
So,
I don't think Candy was there though.
No, remember she got sent to like music camp.
Oh yeah, and they're gone now. That's
Oh,
true.
yeah.
They set that up last episode.
Yeah, they're gone. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Good, they're safe.
I kept referencing this, so let me quickly. I've heard through the grapevine. I don't know if this is true or not, but it makes sense with what we're seeing. Is that Alex Hirsch originally wanted 3 seasons to wrap up Gravity Falls, but he needed it to be renewed after season 2, or else he was gonna have to end it there because he's not gonna, uncertainly he's not gonna not do Weirdmageddon in the show. So Disney wouldn't renew it ahead of time, and now he has like season 2 was like the second half was basically supposed to be all of season 3, and they had to condense it into the second half of season 2. I don't know if that's true, but it like totally makes sense with what we've seen.
Yeah, I would
With
agree.
like this to the rushed plot direction, the hanging Gideon thread and all that type of stuff. And I agree with his decision, which is like, if it's uncertain, just go for it. And I think at this
Yeah.
point, it's pretty apparent that Disney at least is not reviewed the show yet. But I don't think that we'll be seeing more from Alex Hirsch on Disney. That's my read on it, which is unfortunate. But at least we're getting this great ending. So
Yes,
And
they're
at least
going out with a
Dylan-
bang and
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, and either 3 or 4 episodes left. I'm thinking 3. I know that there's sources that say there's a source that said 3. I saw a tweet somewhere else that said 4, but I think it's 3 especially because there's like one of the there's like images that seem to hint at things, then the missing picture thing, and then there's 3 slots missing. So I think we're looking at 3 more. So the question is it like going to be 3 more parts of Weirdmageddon, or wait, like 2 more parts of Weirdmageddon and a final episode, or what?
I want an epilogue, but I don't know if we'll get it.
I'm thinking a 4-part Weirdmageddon, and like just the last 5 minutes is like wrapping things up,
Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah, that's.
I would be
like,
okay
I don't
with
think
that.
it's-
And of course, we have no idea when part 2 airs, and it could be like a month from now, so we'll see, Disney.
Yeah.
I will be so mad if it's like a month.
As long as it's not next week.
The
because
thing
the
is that they're done with production. It's not gonna be next week. It'll be 2 weeks from now. They're done with production on the show, so I don't know why they don't just show the last one.
Because Disney hates us.
If they have since scheduled part 2, we have not seen it as of this recording, which is right after the episode. Okay. Yeah, I'm super high on this. I'm like an A on the AV Club scale and above a 9.5 on my crazy scale. I don't know. A minus, Delaney. What do you think?
I'd give it an A. It just, I just wasn't like
The letter grade scale is not as yeah, but you would probably be like,
and I'd still probably give it like above a 9.5. Probably give it 9.6. It just I just have some issues with it.
what about you, Britt?
I'd give it a solid A.
Yeah.
Probably. I would say about a 9.5.
There you
I
go.
don't think
I mean,
I don't
that's
think I've ever rated anything much higher than that. But
that's
yeah,
the scale
definitely
is
9.5.
meaningless to most of the listeners, but that's okay. That was our core grade scale, which is a 10 is the best thing ever, and a 9.5 is still super high. This is a top 3 episode of Gravity Falls to me. It's not going to beat not going to beat Time Traveler's Big, but it might be number 2.
That episode's so good.
Okay, let's last comments on Weirdmageddon Part 1. I think we hit everything pretty well here. I'm Dylan Hysen, that's Delaney Stovall and Brit Falcon, and you can find everything about us, social media links, and everything about this podcast at overlyanimated.com. You can subscribe, new features, you can subscribe to our specific Gravity Falls iTunes feed, right in time for the show to end. But that's up there too on the right side of the... Bless you. There you go. I was waiting for the Brit part of that sneeze. Okay, and
Sorry, I was trying to hold it in.
That's okay. It was great. Brit sneezes are great. Okay, and we'll be back whenever Disney decides to air part 2 when they grace us with their our scheduled episode.
My blog name is still Save Waddles, so like I'm glad I didn't change it because it's
Waddles has to appear in one of these
like
last
where
30.
is Waddles?
Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
Maybe he's with Mabel. That'd be great.
let me know what you thought of the episode, our commentary on the episode and stuff like that, and what do you think's gonna happen? Predictions. Get them in before indeterminate amount of time until part 2.
You have plenty of time, guys, but get them in.
Yeah. I mean, at this rate, the show will end in December.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably right around when the core finale
Probably
was
take a
last
break
year.
for Thanksgiving if it doesn't overlap.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for listening, guys. See you next time. Wednesday, Thursday, we have Star Wars Rebels and Moonbeam City and Sunday Ruby, and that's it, I guess. Yeah, because then there's no more. Also on hiatus, Steven Universe. That's not good. Anyway, we'll see you next time, guys. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.